What is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. With our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Oh, JJ Wang. We just got to do our very first rookie draft. How you feeling?
Well, if we could finish the rookie draft, it would be even better. But like I said, I'm not trying to talk about that because it's just going to make me even madder than I already am about it. But yeah, we did have 99% of our rookie draft. I mean, I thought it was fun. We went with the no limit, just being able to take our time. I was trying to trade in all day, but I just don't want to give up anybody on my team. It's hard
Yeah.
when you don't want to really sacrifice anybody, but you want to get in on the draft. I mean, it's tough, but yeah, I was excited. Hopefully, they got a whole bunch more to come.
I think I might have pulled off the only trade in that league if I am correct. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think anybody else is really trying to.
I mean, I threw a bunch of trades and then I ended up trading away Devonte Parker. Good riddance to bad rubbish. I mean, he'll be a good wide receiver 3, 2,
Win.
4
Win.
for the Patriots.
Win.
They
Wait,
and Nelson Aguilar are good.
stop giving this guy any credit.
I think he's going to be
He has been bad. Like
okay-ish.
you said, he's been bad his whole career. He's been the number one
Made money.
receiver. He's been the number one receiver on a team his whole career, and he has never been good. Like you said, he had that one good season. I'll still say he has never been. He's been just a huge disappointment. And the
Oh,
fact that you could get
100%.
anything for him absolutely amazes me.
Hey, I got a third round rookie draft pick for it. What can you do?
I mean, I wouldn't have gave you a seventh round rookie pick for him, but
Hey, number one
but hey,
receiver in New England, I guess.
you traded him to a Dolphins fan, so Parker
Yeah,
still
that's why I was
has.
surprised he took him because I don't like him.
I guess Miami Dolphins still have a soft spot in their heart for old Devonte Parker.
Yeah. But turned into someone who I'll talk about a little later. That's why I was excited to do it. I was looking at some different options there. But yeah, sending trades. That's the interesting part. I have a whole slew on my sleeper app of different trades I tried to offer during there for to move up, move down. I moved back in the first round. Still landed a guy. Still landed my boy who I'm starting to grow on. We weren't high on him last week, but the more I'm reading, the more I get excited about Jamison Williams and just thinking the future. Like not for this year. He'll be taxi squatted for me, but
I never said I wasn't high on James Williams. I just say he's not my favorite receiver. I mean, like any of these top six guys, are good. Like
yeah,
I would.
we poo-pooed him though. We put him way down on our draft board.
What I mean, that's because he coming off. I'm just feel like at this point coming off the ACL injury, you I'm just not 100% sure
Yeah.
if he didn't have an injury, absolutely he would be the number one receiver coming off the board. But I feel like he should just get like a downgrade in points just because coming off the injury, and once we know he's healthy, he'd jump right back up the board. But yeah, like I said, I'm not. He's not my favorite, but yeah,
I
we
mean,
did.
I got the all
We might have
injury
pooped
team.
on. We might have pooped on him a little bit.
Yeah. I got the all injury team too. I threw in Pickens as well on my team. So what can I do? I'm just trying to throw some darts and see which injured player I can get to play a little better. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so this week we are in rookie mania. We're going to talk about rookies for a while. We as much as I'm poo pooing this class, that's our word of the week. It's like we need Pee Wee's Playhouse. Poo poo. Uh, uh, once you get into it, and I've gotten a little more eager. I've gotten a little more excited about the guys now that I know where they are. Now that I see their homes, and as rookie drafts are started, we got another one. You're the one where you probably have more picks coming up in 2 weeks with the auction coming up. I got next to nothing there, so I have to dive deep for that one. But it's just intriguing to see all the different options we have going through rookies, and most of the rest of my drafts are second round and on. So that's what we're going to look at this week. Are guys maybe outside the top 10 that intrigue us a little bit? Guys who, or outside the top 12 rather, guys who maybe slipped for one reason or another. Maybe you're in a location where like, I don't know about this location, not a super duper fan of the location, but there's a chance. I mean, last year apparently I was the only one that knew that liked Elijah Mitchell. I think you liked him too. We took some
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
flyers.
whoa,
I was on
slow
him
down,
earlier than anybody else.
slow down. I will give you credit for knowing who Elijah Mitchell was, but I just want I informed you of Elijah Mitchell at our we got together. So yeah, I definitely know who Elijah Mitchell is. I was on Elijah Mitchell a long time.
And unfortunately, I had Trey Sermon too. But
I
anyway,
was on Trey Sermon as well. Yeah.
yeah, boy, did we botch that one.
Hey,
Uh,
50. Hey, we had a 50% hit rate on that. I mean, that's all you can ask for.
so out of curiosity, I'm throwing this one out. This wasn't even in our notes. Tyrion Davis Price, is he this year's Elijah Mitchell, round 3, running back selected out of LSU, 6 foot, 211 pounds for the 49ers? Is he going to take over that backfield this year?
It's possible. It's somebody different every year. I mean, I have no idea what's going on with homeboy from last year. What was his name?
Is it Trey Sermon?
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with that guy. And of course, Elijah Mitchell's going to be the guy, obviously the number one guy going in, but he wasn't the picture of health, you know.
Yeah, missed a lot.
Or it's, but I mean, that's 49ers running backs, right? So whenever there's a new guy coming in, you better scoop him up because he's going to play at some point. They all do.
Well,
And
then looking at that kind of formula, I'm going to zag a little bit here, then we'll jump back into guys. Would that mean, should we have the same thought about New York and Miami, being that they're running the Shanahan system, that they're going to, like Brees Hall obviously is the big guy up there. Should we not downgrade Carter as much as a lot of people are, and sort of, what do you think about that? Or looking at that one, or even in Miami where they have 3 running backs there that each of them could be a 2, you
well,
know what I mean?
I think the difference, I think there's a big difference between the two. The Jets, they've got Brees Hall, which is an outstanding. Go on, just look out for an outstanding running back.
Yeah.
3 down workhorse. He's got the pedigree. That's the thing. That's going to be their guy. And then I think Michael Carter had his chance last year. He proved it, but like I said, he wasn't able to stay healthy the whole year. That's what the teams are looking for. And I just don't. I like Michael Carter. He's like that good, change of pace back. But Michael Carter is not going to be the guy that can carry the load. He's not going to be the touchdown scorer. That's what Brees Hall is. So I think Brees Hall in the Jets offense has the foundation of being the guy.
Mm.
And as far as the Miami backfield, there's not a guy in the Miami backfield. That's the difference. Like, it's very possible Miami uses all 3 of them because
Yeah.
they don't have a guy. I think the Jets have their guy, and they're going to give him. I think Brees Hall is going to get like the Jonathan Taylor type
Wow.
like workload. I think that's what's going to end up happening.
I mean, the Jets have a much better line. Their line is, from what I'm hearing, with just the way they're growing, could be one of those top tier lines coming up, and that'll benefit Brees Hall as well. And it's
Absolutely.
interesting to see the system because I mean, yeah, Miami's back. Like Brees Hall should go out there, and then Michael Carter could still have some good PPR value
Yeah,
coming out of that backfield.
I think Michael Carter will be fine from from time to time, but he's just not going to be depended upon. I think it's going to be more of like a flex play when you need to throw somebody in. But I think Brees Hall is going to be a locked and loaded, pretty RB1 from the jump. I think that's the kind of difference. And I think like the head coaches, like the head coach for Miami, is more of the offensive running guru, and then the head coach for the Jets is more of a defensive type like the guru. So but like I said, he's still running that running back committee type thing, I would guess. But like I said, Brees Hall is I think he's going to be good.
Yeah, Miami, I could see each of those running backs having about 500 to 600 yards. Like that's how it would be. I mean, you get 1,800-yard running back out of the 3 of them, and then I'm intrigued, and I can stash him because no one's going to want him. They got this kid out of South Carolina. He might not even see the field this year. Might do special teams, but I mean, they might keep Gaskin and just make it a 3-headed monster. I mean, they still have Salvin Ahmed. Like there's warm bodies to throw through the running back grinder. and I have a feeling McDaniels is going to throw him through the running back grinder. But interesting
Oh
to
yeah,
see.
they're just going to throw them out there, and whoever seems to be having the better game, that's who they're going to go with. And
Yeah,
then next week, you're not going to have any idea. It kind of going to kind of remind you of the New England backfield.
yeah. Oh man, and well, it'll get smaller by week 3 when Mostert gets hurt. But then, that is what it is.
That's true. I'm not excited. Don't get too excited about Mostert, except for the
I'm
first
just
3 games of the season.
he's on my team. I can root for him for a few weeks now. That I was like, I had him just as a carryover because dude's fast. Give him that. There's a super fast backfield.
No,
So
yeah,
So jumping back into the rookies this year, as we diverged, all that was about Tyrion Davis Price, a guy that you can probably get in the third round of most 12-team rookie drafts, somewhere in there. Is there anybody that tickles your fancy that you are outside of the top 12 that you're like, I'm intrigued by this guy. I don't know if I'll have him, but I'm going to watch him.
So so I put 2 guys down on my list. I'll run through 2 of them real quick. So one was the running back from that went to Houston out of Florida, Damien Pierce. That's just because there's not a whole lot of competition. They got Marlon Mack, but from what I gather, Marlon Mack's not making a very good impression. So I don't. So he might not even be there come season. So I think Damien Pierce will have opportunity. Not to say he's going to be great, but he will have opportunity. And I think the Texans are getting better as a team. I think their line will be a little better. I think their offensive, their quarterback can maybe be a little better. Like as a whole, just be a little better. Might run the ball a little more. And then the other guy is Jerome Ford. He's the running back out of Cincinnati. He went to Cleveland.
Mm.
So I'm not 100% sure how much truth it is to it, but like in Cleveland, they already got their 2 running backs in Hunt and Chubb. From I've heard rumors that Hunt may be released, maybe getting released.
Oh wow.
Like I said, I don't. I've just heard it. I don't know how true it is. I haven't really been able to dive into it. But if he does get released, there's gonna be plenty of opportunity, a lot of opportunities for carries. During Ford, well, the other guy, Dearness Johnson, he was really good in the running back's absence. So yeah, I mean, it's just these 2 guys. If Damian Pierce, definitely because the opportunity is there, and Ford, maybe if Hunt does end up getting released.
Yeah, Pierce. I love the landing for Pierce. We've gotten excited for Marlon Mack in the past, and that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
But that being said, that means he's going to run for like 1,000 yards and catch 500 yards. But
I've heard multiple sources say that he's just not.
he lost a step, and that's
He's just not like bonding with like not like he's just not making a good impression like with the team. I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
if any of that is true. Like I said, but
That's
I
from the
just go
Damien
by.
Pierce owners.
When I hear more than one person like say it, it kind of sticks out a little bit, I guess.
It was somebody with a Twitter handle like Mama Pierce or something like that. I don't know.
It might have been.
Who's-
It might have
but
been.
I love the Damien Pierce landing spot for there. He's a nice little bowling ball for them to have, and he could step into that role without a
And he
problem. And
and he can't catch the ball out of the
yeah,
backfield. I mean, he's not a grinder, so he's not like a between the tackles kind of guy. But I mean, he can get to the corner. He can catch some balls.
he's got good
But
size.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, this guy does. Yeah, that's another thing that I like. But like I said, I'm all about opportunity when it comes to rookie running backs.
Yeah, and Jerome Ford is him. I like him. For me, he's a patience back.
Yeah,
If you can get Jerome Ford and you have the roster spots, which in Dynasty, hopefully you do. If not, you're really, really, really good. The more of what I'm hearing about Jerome Ford is next year will be when he can step up because Kareem Hunt's contract expires, as does Dearness Johnson, which could be the reason they got Ford this year to learn from the guys, and then he can be Chubb's handcuff next year because they like to run. And having Deshaun in there, they're gonna keep running. They might not run as heavy because Deshaun's not terrible like Baker, but
it's going to be it's going to be what year 5 for Nick Chubb.
something like that. Yeah.
But you know what the track record for those year 5 running backs, right?
Uh, they get paid, then they play one more year. They're gonna well, they won't have any money left because they gave it all to Deshaun, so that's why they had to get Ford to just let everybody because Chubb's probably got a couple more years because they weren't saying his let me see what his contract looks like. But yeah, his contract. But yeah, so with Ford, that's what I've been hearing as they go through. So Nick Chubb is in year 4. That'll be year 5. Oh wait, no, he signed that extension. So he signed through 24 to his year 29 age. So yeah, he's
But I
there.
mean, he'll spend his whole prime of his career with Cleveland. So
Yeah, it's dead cap this year. 16 dead cap, 23 10 million dead cap, 24. They could let him go for 4 million in dead cap, but cap hit would be 16 million in 24. So it sounds like they're stuck with him there. So it looks like today's theme is going to be running backs. Let's go to let's
I got a couple. I got a couple wide receivers off there in there
Oh,
too.
we might hit some in there. A guy I was talking about, we were talking about before the show, was Brian Robinson Jr. landing with the Washington Commanders. Woo woo! Ron Rivera's getting excited. He's thinking he's in Carolina again, going back to the to that 1-2 punch he had there, thinking he's gonna get the same thing in DC. What do you think about Mister Alabama here?
I mean, if that's the way he thinks, it's not. It's really not a 1-2 punch. It's more of a 1-2-3 punch because they brought back J.D. McKissick,
McKissick.
and McKissick has been a big part of that offense. As much as I hate it, he's been a big part of that offense. And they kind of stole him back from Buffalo. So that goes to tell you that they want to keep him. So what do we got? We got Brian Robinson doing like all the heavy, third and ones, second ones, that grinding work, and then Gibson coming in doing all like, the outside runs and blah, 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 blah. And then you got McKissick doing all the catching work. And then what's going to make the difference is who's going to get the touchdowns. But honestly, if that's how they see it, that's the backfield I want to stay completely away from. If that's how it's going, if they're going to take it 3 ways, why would you even want to be part of that?
If you have space, you throw them on there and see which one hits the wall because you never know what could hit. We were high on Gibson and
Oh yeah,
he poo pooed us last year, and I don't know how much hope to have in them anymore. But yeah, it's.
I mean, there's still hope. It's just not. I don't think we can have top 12 hope.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of the ways I build my teams, a lot of my teams, I like to build with stronger receivers in Dynasty anyway. And then, so if you can get a running back, you hope one gets. If not, running with a bunch of twos that can catch, you'd lean towards the pass catcher in the system, and then have some better receivers is a way I'd love to build some Dynasty teams. I got one that I've done that with, so it's a good toss.
Yeah.
I got one more running back here. This is the guy that I was excited to get, and I traded away Devonte Parker. Too bad to get, and that was Zamir White, good old Georgia Bulldog, heading to Las Vegas. And I'm interested in him, almost not so much for this year, but for next year because Vegas didn't pick up a single 5th-year option of any of their players, and that was some decent draft capital in there that they let just walk. And that includes Josh Jacobs, who basically plots ahead for about 3 yards and then falls over, and plots ahead for 3 more yards, falls over, then gets a touchdown because after 6 yards, he's going to fall in eventually. And Zamir White is a logical just plotter on to just sort of fill in the same role. They don't have to draft anybody else, and they can have him for this year and then plug him in next year, right?
That's how I would see it. Obviously they're not super satisfied with Jacobs, and if you're not satisfied by year 4 with your running back, you're definitely not going to sign him to an extension for that year 5 because probably at that point they're not going to get any better than what they've already been. But I mean, Josh Jacobs has been okay. I mean, he hasn't been. It's not like he's terrible. He's always been a reliable RB2. He's just never been able to crack into that RB1. I think that was just because he never got the receiving work that everybody thought he was going to get. Because coming out of college, he was like, oh, he's just a great receiver, blah blah blah. He's just never seen it. And I think Zamir White's probably a better between the tackles runner than Josh Jacobs is. Of course, we all know how good the Georgia running backs typically are. So, I mean, he's going to definitely lose some time, and probably Josh Jacobs going to be looking for a new team.
Yeah, it's And I'm curious if how many of the old regime they're trying to wipe out of Vegas. They kept a Carr because, well, quarterbacks are tough to get, and then they brought in Carr's boy just to maybe brainwash de-Grudenize him maybe. But it's curious to see who they're trying to wipe out and just clean house and make it a new home as they got there. So, okay, you said you got a receiver or so to close us out here today.
Yeah, I got some receivers. So I'm going to go through. So I'll put all three of these receivers together because they go well. So the first one, so the first two that I'm going to put here are the ones that went to the right position. So everybody's really high on, right? So we got Skye Moore who goes to um,
Kansas City.
Kansas City, and then Christian Watson who goes to Green Bay. Of course, we don't like them because, well, don't get me wrong, they're talented, right? But we don't like them there because they're just uber talented and they're going to be good everywhere. We like them because of the quarterback. Um, and from what I gather, Skye Moore's already got a hamstring injury, so that's a great way to start your career. Hamstring injuries before OTAs even start, so that's fantastic. So he won't even be able to probably practice through these OTAs here. But yeah, like I said, Kansas City's got a lot of people in front of him to for him to be competitive in his first year, maybe his second year, but I just don't think he's going to get the opportunity in this first year. Of course, we are playing dynasty, so that's what multiple years are important. But I feel like Mahomes tends to lock in on a receiver. They got multiple receivers. Well, of course, he hasn't had any other receivers than Tyreek Hill, right? So, of course, you're going to lock in the Tyreek Hill. And then the other guys, Christian Watson, of course, going to Green Bay. Of course, Aaron Rodgers can make anybody look good. But is Christian Watson going to be that guy? Again, I don't think Christian Watson is a this year guy. I think he's probably more of I don't want to say a project, but I think he's more of the project type. And if I want to be honest, I'm kind of comparing to the guy that just left, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, right? Just a younger version of Scantling. They got tired of Scantling. Scantling didn't work out, so let's just go get another guy that does the exact same thing as Scantling, and maybe he can do it just a little better. And then the last guy I'll talk about is just Packers brought in this other running back from Nevada. He had a really good year last year. Of course, I can't bring up his numbers right now because my phone just messed up on me. But it's Romeo Dubs. They come out in Nevada last year. He had over 1,000 yards receiving. Like I said, so it's just another weapon for Aaron Rodgers. They went out and got him two reliable. I don't want to say reliable, but two young receivers that maybe one of them hits. But I mean, like I said, everybody's high on Skye Moore. Everybody's high on Christian Watson because of the landing spot. But I think they might want to temper expectations a little bit because this just might not be the perfect situation for them.
I like the deep dive there on Romeo Dubs. As I was trying to see if I could get you some college stats here for you. So we got him.
Go ahead
Last year he had
I'll find it.
80 receptions for 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns. The year before, 1,000 yards, 58 receptions, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 17.3 in 2020 per reception.
So I mean, of course, so he went to Nevada, right? So that means he's been playing with Carson Strong the last couple of years. Carson Strong, he ended up going to Philadelphia, I believe. So he might get an opportunity there. You never know. But yeah, I think Dubs just has as much shot as Christian Watson, I think, in that offense.
It'll be interesting to see. Like, the more you talk, the more I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, you look at Watson and Moore going generally in the top 12 because of their spots where we're sending guys lower that might have had a better opportunity in college. And, who knows, especially in this class too. But so they're like probably the first two guys outside of that. You know how we were saying like there's 8 to 10 guys that you could draft. There's Brees Hall, and then there's 8 to 10 guys you could interchangeably draft, and then they're probably like the next two. Correct? Would you say?
Yeah, I would say it's Watson, Moore, and Pickens. I would say all those three are the next three guys because I'll put Pickens right there. I think George Pickens, he's my favorite. I think he landed in a good spot. Well, you always love somebody that lands in stable organizations, and you can't get much more stable than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, that's why I was excited to. He was the guy I picked up in our rookie draft this week, and I was excited to land him because I'm intrigued by him, especially there. Once again, everybody I drafted in that league, it's for next year because my
Yeah,
team's
yeah.
decent. That's competing. That I think they sign Deontay Johnson? They don't seem to pay receivers that aren't Hines Ward, So they might not sign Deontay. They might go, hey, let's see what this Pickens kid has. Claypool's a big dude, and then they drafted another receiver, his name Calvin Austin Jr.
Oh, yeah, he's a little dude.
And he could be their little speed, so that'd give them three, slot speed guy, or
But
who
I mean,
knows,
if you think about it, I mean, the only time that I think the only time the Austin kid is ever going to get on the field is
special teams.
when they go four wide receivers. Because I mean, you're not going to bench Pickens,
Hmm.
um, Claypool, and Deontay Johnson, and then you still got Fryermuth, and you got Harrison in the
Najee,
backfield. I mean, there's only so many positions. But yeah, Austin could be like, a little speed guy. You get him underneath, he might be able to break a tackle here and there. But yeah, I'm not too excited about that one.
yeah, so it'd be. I like the pick and spot. I wasn't excited initially, but the more I listened and heard about it, I was like, huh, it is Pittsburgh. Never doubt the Steelers is makes me
Don't
kind of
lie. You just heard me talk about him and be so high on him. It kind of rubs off on you, don't it?
yeah, but it must have been. I knew you were gonna talk about him today, and I just jumped in. So
I love me some
JJ,
Pickens, man.
we're recording this late, and it's past your bedtime.
Yes, it is.
So give us some wisdom so you can go get some Z's.
My words of wisdom is don't be up this late, man. People gotta be going to bed early. But no, all seriousness, you got try to know the guys that are in the back end of this draft. I mean, I've been preaching the last couple of weeks, like get to know these guys, like get to know these guys. Just don't focus on the top 12 guys because I mean that's not. I mean, yeah, that helps your team out, but these second and third round guys, I mean, you can find a lot of guys in these rounds that can really help your team. And if all they gotta do is hit for 1 year, and you can trade them for way more than what you paid for them.
Yeah.
So you just look for that 1 6 game stretch, that 1 4 game stretch, and maybe somebody fell in love with him. And, just find that right guy that likes him, and you might turn Romeo Dubs from a undrafted free agent and a second, third round pick for maybe next year, 2024. I mean, better than nothing, right?
Yep.
But I almost forgot
Two in a row.
the week, man. But yeah, as always, trust yourself and trust the process.